God bless our homeland Ghana and make it great and strong. Today is 27th April 2026. And of course, my name is Maxwell Mensah, and welcome to the Behind the Evidence on Bullet TV. Last week, we were looking at some of the factors or the things in the country where some commodities or some of the things are really affecting the way Ghanaians or most Ghanaians are living. In fact, if you check the salaries of some people, or even those who are doing their own businesses, how they earn, how much they earn, and how they are surviving in the country, on things concerning rent issues and transport and water. And most of you called us that we need to further dig into the cost of transportation and also rent issue in the country, even bills, electricity, health bills, and school fees and others. And we have listened. The research desk, since last week, has really digged to get all the information needed for you to understand some of the things happening within the country concerning these fears that we are talking about. So today, obviously, we are going to dig how much does this cost in terms of even building a house? How much does this cost in renting in the urban areas like Ghana, Accra? How much does this cost to even pay school fees and others? For you to understand, and also compared to the salary that you are getting if you're a government worker, a private worker, or even if you do your own businesses, cumulatively, what you earn within a month or within a week, how much you are dedicating for the future. And there are a whole lot of things that we're going to reveal this evening to you. And I'll go to my touch screen and do the analysis. Of course, you also have the chance to call in, share with us your thoughts and others at the same time. If you have something that you want us to further dig and maybe do investigation, research, and come and give it to you as usual, as you did last week, we will allow you to do that, and also we come subsequently and give you the necessary information that you have gotten. I'll just go for a quick turn. When I come, then we start the conversation. Thank you very much for staying with us, and let's quickly look at some of the things that we looked at last week concerning some of the cost of living in Ghana. And in fact, we are saying that there is a problem in the country, and what it is the problem. The problem is living in Ghana's urban cities, such as Accra, Kumasi, Takoradi, Cape Coast, and other cities, features a vast financial spectrum ranging from highly affordable local living to expensive dollar-pegged luxury standards. So basically living in these cities is not easy, most especially if you're a youth. The amount of money that you spend every single day, every single minute, the amount of money that you spend, and how do you even do that? Where do you even get the money, and how do you prospect for the future? So this is basically the issue that the cities or those living in the urban areas are facing, basically. Now, we told you last week that we have some people working, and this is not according to us. We didn't just give the figures. It's all about the data from the Ghana Statistical Service, and also other index showing clearly how much that we earn as Ghanaians. In fact, the law or the country specifically says that if you're a worker within the country, at least your employer should pay you 21 Ghana cedis, which is 210 in the old currency, not up to 25 or 30 Ghana cedis. This is what the government approved, I think, early this year by adding 1 cedi to that. Initially, it was 19, it came to 20, now 21 Ghana cedis. So if you're working in Ghana here, the government says that whether you're private or maybe public, at least you should earn 21 Ghana cedis every day. Then you multiply by the numbers of days that you work within the month, or within a month, then you get your salary. So some are taking 500 Ghana cedis, others are even taking 300 Ghana cedis, 1,000 Ghana cedis, 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 plus. So it depends on the range and the kind of work that you are doing. Others also doing their personal business, of which they are all competing within the economical dispensation in the country. Now, as we said, we have people, those who are receiving the 500 Ghana cedis to 1,000 Ghana cedis averagely are living in a deficit life. Meaning, if you do the calculations of three components that we talk about water, and we talk about transports and food. These are the basic commodities or the basic things that you need, essential. Without these things, your life will be very, very, very difficult. So these three things are really, each and every day we pay for that. So those who are receiving 500 Ghana cedis, 2,000 Ghana cedis, how are they living within this? And we told you that per the cost of calculations, the amount of money, the amount of water and the transport that you spend every day, if you add all together within a month, it's somehow even more than the salary some people are taking in Ghana here or in our cities. So we did the calculation. We said that after everything, they are not getting much. So they are living in deficit. So what they spend is more than what they earn at the end of the month. And we have other group of people also taking a salary between 1,000 Ghana cedis to 2,000. And these people somehow, they live in a comfortable life if they want to live in the basic life. Because we said that if you want to live in this basic life that you are talking about, then you need to take sachets of water. I mean the single one, which is probably some are selling at 1 cedis, others are selling at 70% and 50%, depending on the quality of water that you want to purchase. So if you are thinking about your health and you are purchasing the 1 Ghana cedis per sachet, then a day, if you're consuming 5 or 4 or 3, then you deduct it from the 21 Ghana cedis that you are spending within the day, because they are paying you 21 Ghana cedis. That's according to the government. So if you spend 5 Ghana cedis on water, because in the morning maybe you took 2 sachets of water, in the afternoon maybe you took 2, and then maybe before you go into bed you took 1, making 5. Others can spend 6 or that, because doctors are even saying that we should spend 6, we should take 6 sachets of water at least. That's medically what they are saying. So if you even do such calculation, then those who are even living within the lower 1,000 to 2,000, they are not even comfortable if per this analysis. And if you also look at another group also, those who are living in 2,000 to 4,000 Ghana cedis, at least they are in green comfort zone. So they are living somehow okay, because they are taking at least 30,000 Ghana cedis, 2,500, 2,000 or 4,000. You are okay in life, because the expenses of your daily water, transport, and food might not be affecting you, because the total will be 720 Ghana cedis. So deducting 720 Ghana cedis from 4,000, you should have been getting at least 3,000 in your bank account. But the question is, can you live with that? Because those living with this basic life, for instance, you need to spend 10 Ghana cedis on food on a day. And how possible it is to live in a city and spending 10 Ghana cedis a day on food? Even in the morning, how much do you spend? In the afternoon and evening or night, how much do you spend on food? In the morning alone, someone in Accra here buying cocoa with kose alone can cost you 15 Ghana cedis, 10 Ghana cedis, 20 Ghana cedis. Even if you want to buy gobe with everything, the affordable rate of gobe can take you 20 Ghana cedis, 15 Ghana cedis. So if you take a breakfast of maybe 10 Ghana cedis, and then maybe somewhere you take a lunch, then that will take you to maybe 30 Ghana cedis or 20 Ghana cedis. If you out the morning to eat, and evening, on food alone, some people spend 50 Ghana cedis within a day. 60 Ghana cedis, 100 Ghana cedis, some even to extent of 200 Ghana cedis. So if you do all these calculations, then it doesn't tally. If you fall within any of these range, obviously you go on bankrupt. But what we are saying is that if you want to make life better for yourself, then a day you are spending 10 Ghana cedis. Then the others also here, then you take a sachet of water, maybe 2 or 3. And transport is where you are spending a transport when you are going or you're to. is maybe 3 Ghana cedis. When you are coming or you're from, is also 3 Ghana cedis. So maximum, you might not spend 10 Ghana cedis on transport. But basically in Accra here, some takes 20 Ghana cedis to work, and even 20 Ghana cedis from work to house to their various houses. 50 Ghana cedis, others are spending 100 Ghana cedis, 200 Ghana cedis, others are spending on transport. So even it doesn't also tally here. So at all costs, you may spend more than this. But if you still want to stick to this calculation, then obviously if you are taking 2,000 Ghana cedis, you must be comfortable a bit in life, or even less than. So this is actually what we did last week. Let's look at today, as most of you called us that we should look at some of the things. And there's another thing that we are not talking about today. Let's look at this. You are all complaining that things are going higher, higher, higher each and every day. But there's something that we are not focusing as an individual of the country. In fact, these coins that you see here are just a denomination that Ghana we try to use. It's part of the currency that we are using now. Somewhere between 2007, where Kufuor thought that the value, in quote, the value is the same. So we should change maybe the color of the currency that we are using as a country. But the question is, if the value is the same, why are we changing it? That's not the case. Let's look at the amount of money here. Now in Ghana here, 10 pesos. How many of you sell things? Those who are selling, maybe how many of you sell things with 10 pesos? And even in Trotro, now if you want to give them even 10 pesos, they are not taking. 20 pesos cannot buy anything in this country. We were having what is called 5 pesos. The 5 pesos or the 5 pesos, we don't know where it is now. There was also 1 peso. The 1 peso is the gold one that you see. The 1 peso is part of the denomination that the country we approved somewhere 2007. Now we are not using that 1 peso. The 5 peso is no more. The 10 pesos is now also being limited in the markets. 20 pesos, now you see them on the floor, on the streets, on the road. You see them, people are not taking to the extent of 50 pesos. So now things are increasing on a marginal rate. So things that we can use the 5 pesos to buy, we are using the 20 pesos to buy. Things that we are supposed to use 20 pesos to buy, we are using the 50 pesos to buy. And things that we are supposed to maybe use the 50 pesos to buy, we are using 1 cedi to buy. So the government and the country itself, we have created a system for ourselves that is making us difficult. So at first, we can use 10 pesos to buy water, pure water, and now pure water is 1 cedi. So now we are starting. The 10 pesos is now becoming 1 Ghana cedis. So if care is not taken, then the expenses that we do is gradually increasing. This is logic. Now let's move on and see something. So this is what I just said. If you look at the trend here, you can clearly see we have the red one and also the blue one. The red one apparently represents the annual inflation rate, and the blue one also talks about the currency that we are depreciating or we are losing, we are rejecting as a country. So somewhere 2021, 2022 coming, you can clearly see that the inflation of the country, which is the red line, was above the blue one, which is the rejection of the currency. Because the more that inflation is increasing, the currency that we are rejecting also increasing. So the country, we're pushing the inflation to grow. Because we are rejecting the 10 pesos, we are rejecting the 20 pesos, the 1 peso, the 5 pesos, and to the extent of 50 pesos, we are rejecting this amount of money. So things that we are supposed to buy at 50 pesos is now shifting to 1 Ghana cedi. So inflation on things increased because there was an increment of rejection of some of the currencies of the denomination. Now we got to a point where in Ghana now, inflation has dropped to a single decade, which is 3.2. So the moment where inflation was increasing and the currency rejection was also increasing, it has gotten to a point where inflation has come to a single digit. But rejection of the currency is still rising. Why? It looks like, logically, it's not tallying, because when you are increasing, I was increasing. Now you are reducing, I should be reducing. But this is not the case, because we have gotten to where we call it irreversible. We cannot reverse it. Because now the 10 peso or the 5 peso, the 1 peso that we are talking about, they are no more in the system. So it is irreversible. We are not using them again. So it keeps rising. It keeps rising. So the inflation will drop to a single digit. That's where the government will tell you that inflation has really dropped. inflation can get to 1% or 0. There's no inflation, but things keeps increasing. And you may say that government says inflation has reduced, but the pocket is empty because we have rejected the money that we are supposed to use. So the rejection keeps on increasing. Rather, when the inflation drops, we are facing the same situation. So inflation can reduce to a negative, yet the country members or the citizens might also be experiencing hard situations because we have rejected the currencies that we are supposed to use. This is logical. So this amounts to the rate of the cost of living in the country. I told you, for example, a sachet of water in 2021, if you buy 5 sachets, which at 2021 it was 20 pesos. 20 pesos. Now, if you come to 2026, 20 pesos cannot buy a sachet of water. I don't know where you can buy a sachet of water on the streets, in a traffic, 20 pesos. Now, you can't buy it. You can't buy that. So what has happened now? There has been an increase of 400% of it because they are selling out at 50 pesos now, 60 pesos now, or 1 cedi. So there has been an increase in terms of percentages. So there's an inflation on that particular commodity, despite the cumulative, the CPI of the inflation, that's the cumulative of product index, has really come down. But a certain particular product is still having an inflation on it. This is what is happening. So if you buy a chicken egg in 2021, somewhere the COVID-19 there, before we got to the peak of inflation in 2022, and the haircut and others stepped in, you can clearly see that 1 egg then was 70 pesos, 80 pesos. As we speak, some are selling out at 2 cedis, 3 cedis, 4 cedis. The boiled one are some are even selling at 5 cedis, 6 cedis, depending on where you are buying the egg from. So you can clearly see that the 2021 amount of money that we use to buy a commodity is not the same in 2026 because there's a huge gap. The coins that we use to buy those things are no more in the system. So we are shifting to use the next denomination. This is what is actually happening. If you look at bread, 1 loaf of bread somewhere 2021, the small one was somewhere 1 Ghana cedis. Now it's almost 8 cedis, 9 cedis to 10 Ghana cedis. This is what is the reality now we are facing. Trotro fare. If you take Trotro short, maybe from Medina to Circle, at first could be 3 cedis 50 pesos. Now from Medina to Circle or Accra, they are taking you 8 cedis or 7 cedis 50 pesos or 9 Ghana cedis. So this is the reality. Now if you look at toffee and gum, this is the things that kids and children really likes. Now if you look at in 2021, it was, if you take 10 to 20 pieces of them, you can get 5 pesos. You can use 5 pesos to buy some, or maybe 10 pesos to buy maybe a gum or a toffee, 10 pesos. Now if you look at 2026, now a gum is costing 1 Ghana cedis. So now the 10 pesos, the 20 pesos has been replaced by the 1 Ghana cedis and the 2 Ghana cedis that we are talking about. You can even ask yourself, how many times do you see the 2 cedis paper in the system? So now we are changing the coins that we use at first. Now we are shifting. 5 cedis will soon become a coin. 5 cedis will soon become a coin. When we get 500 Ghana cedis notes, the moment Ghana gets 500 Ghana cedis notes, then 5 cedis will become a coin. If 5 cedis become a coin, then it is replacing 2 Ghana cedis. Then 2 cedis will become 1 cedi. So obviously, before we realize, 10 cedis will become just 1 cedi. In the next 10 years coming, 10 cedis can become 1 Ghana cedis because we are shifting the money that we are using in the country. We are rejecting. So if you're in a car and maybe you think that you are just throwing the coins away and later you come and complain, then don't put the pressure on the government. Sometimes we need to blame ourselves because this is actually what we are doing. It's a legal tender where we are supposed to use as a country, but many Ghanaians says no, they don't want. So obviously we are just wasting the money. Now let's come to housing and rent issues in the country. This is one of the issues, one of the major issues many Ghanaians are facing. Now let's look at a single largest driver of the things of making life difficult for people living in urban cities like Accra, Kumasi, and others, is rent and housing. The advance rate can cost you. By law, under the Rent Act, the landlords are only supposed to take up to 6 months. And with this one is, we can all testify. The law says that we need to, if you want to rent, at least as a landlord or landlady, the person who is coming, your tenant, must pay up to 6 months. So you are supposed to charge 1 month, or maybe even a week or a day. You can make it daily or weekly, monthly, up to 6 months, not more than 6 months. This is what the law says. But here is the case, renting in Accra and Kumasi, some are taking just an advance of one, the minimum one that you get, that you may think that the landlord is so good, is that they are just giving an advance of 1 year. So here the law is also not working. So you can clearly see where the fault is. Is this on the coming from the government or we the citizens? I am not telling you, but you must also know. So we have shifted the system by our own selves. Things that you are supposed to do but within a month, a week, or daily, we are saying that I'm taking 2 years. Others are even taking 3 years. How can someone who just got employed can pay an amount of somehow 10,000 Ghana cedis if you are charging even 300 Ghana cedis a month of a single room, and you are taking 3 years advance or 2 years? How can a person pay almost 10,000 or 10,000 plus? Meanwhile, the person is just taking less than 3,000 Ghana cedis. Less than 3,000 Ghana cedis in a month. And you are just charging the person 10,000 plus. How possible? Now, let's look at this. Some of the areas that when you rent in Accra and some of the costs are involved. Now we have premium. Yeah, if you are able to maybe, if you have money, then you can rent around these areas, like maybe East Legon if you're in Accra, and Cantonments, Tasako, and others can get. And this one range from 8,000 Ghana cedis to 14,000 Ghana cedis. This is just a premium. It's if you want the highly luxury places, they can get more than that. A room can cost you 200,000 Ghana cedis. Some are renting. So this is what we have. And also we have the mid-range. Somewhere, okay, you can't afford East Legon, you can't afford Cantonments, then maybe you can afford either Jovlo or Achimota within these enclaves. You can afford maybe Taifa, Achimota, Tantra Hill to somehow Medina, Jovlo. You can get somehow 3,500 Ghana cedis. That's if you want a chamber and hall. Yeah, let me say chamber and hall, 2 bedrooms, apartment or something like that. You can get 3,500 or 6,000 Ghana cedis. And also for Kumasi and Takoradi, you can get some 1,200 because there's no much pressure there. So 1,200 can get a room there in Kumasi, and also 3,000 Ghana cedis. This is somehow upscale in terms of the renting. And also for budget area, maybe you are not also receiving. So these areas are somehow affordable. If you are living, if you go to Kaswa, if you go to Dome, Dansuman, and others also, you can get maybe something there. You can join the conversation by calling the numbers on your screen. Join the conversation and share with us and as we dig into it. So in terms of renting, it depends on where you are staying, and also within your pockets, how much you have as a person, how much you are earning within a month. Then you choose the place where you want to be. So imagine maybe you want the mid-range in Accra here, you want to stay in Joro, Achimota, Chado. These are somehow mid-range locations, maybe Osu too. And they are charging you 3,000 or 2,000 Ghana cedis. And the person says that bring 2 years advance. Just do a simple calculation and see how much you are supposed to gather and give it to the person. And how possible, how soon can you do that? So these are some of the challenges we are facing. If you want some other places like maybe Kaswa, Dome, Dansuman, and other places too, you can get some room 500 Ghana cedis, 600 Ghana cedis, 400 Ghana cedis. Even 300 Ghana cedis can get, depending on the nature of that particular room. Now, building, aside maybe renting a place, you also want to maybe build your own house. You are considering, let's see the cost of that doing building in the country. Now, yeah, so let's look at that. As we are looking at the rent, the building, you can call the number on your screen. Just call the number on your screen, then you also share your views with us. So the cost of a building 3-bedroom house in 2026 ranges from 650,000 over to somewhere 2.2 million. So in 2026, if you want to build a luxury, maybe an apartment or maybe 2-bedroom, something like that in Accra here, then you should be gathering an amount of 650,000 Ghana cedis. That's quite amount of money. That's somehow 6 billion, the old currency, as we speak in Accra. Also, we have land. Just if you want to acquire land in some of the areas, then some of them are charging 60,000 Ghana cedis. That's the 600 million in the old currency. And we do also have 600,000 Ghana cedis for the standard plot in some of the various areas in the country. Now, construction, in terms of buildings and others, the equipment, and also for 3-bedroom, you can clearly see for the basic one, you may be spending an amount of 650,000 Ghana cedis to 850,000 Ghana cedis. These are some of the basic places that you can get to when you are building a house. For 2-bedroom in Accra, you can maybe build it by 300,000 Ghana cedis. That's the 3 billion, the old currency, to 500,000 Ghana cedis, 5 billion in the old currency. Now, the standard one that you can also build for yourself could take you 900,000 Ghana cedis to 1.3 million Ghana cedis. That's for middle-class people. At least if you are receiving 10,000 Ghana cedis a month or 15,000 Ghana cedis, you should have been able to afford something like this. And also for premium, you can start building with 1.5 million Ghana cedis. That's the somehow 10.5 billion Ghana cedis in the old currency, or to 2.2 billion Ghana cedis. Some spend more than this. This is just basic and standard if you want to make things so cool for yourself, depending on the category that you want to build around. Now, we also have the material prices. Now, if you look at cement, cement went to somehow 150 plus or 100 Ghana cedis. Now, it has come to 85 Ghana cedis, depending on the quality that you want, to 110 per bag. So this one is also here. Then you need to spend on that. Depending on the quality, you can choose the affordable one, which is the 85 Ghana cedis. Then you also buy an iron rocks and others, and the amount is also here that you are supposed to spend if you are building in Greater Accra. You need to get a land which will take you 60,000 Ghana cedis. If you are okay, some will charge you 17 Ghana cedis, but it depends on the security and the kind of the person who is giving you such land. Else, you just buy it and later you just seek court interventions and others. So housing issue, and there's another hidden truth within this. So external works like boundary fence walls and also septic tanks and drilling boreholes can easily add 40,000 Ghana. So you must get some contingency, miscellaneous. Maybe, and in addition, I just put this one aside. So aside you getting the budget for your construction, you need to get an extra amount of at least 40,000 Ghana cedis for contingency. Anything can happen, then you sort that thing also out. So in terms of you building a house in Accra or the cities in the country, takes a lot for that. You can join the conversation, as I said. You can call any of the numbers on your screen and join the conversation and share your thoughts with us. If you want us to maybe go deeper, or if you have questions that you want to ask us, this is the time maybe you can call in, also share your thoughts or your question and also with us. Now let's look at basically what we said in Accra, depending on the renting issues and others. Now we have the lighting issues also. Light also is also working within the cities across the country. You can't live without paying light bills and others. Light bills also taking a lot of money from people. Now, for a mid-sized apartment without AC, if you are living without AC, then you can spend somehow 300 Ghana cedis to 600 Ghana cedis on your light. If you are living even on a prepaid, of which you want to measure to your quantity to satisfy yourself, that you can be spending to maybe 300 Ghana cedis to 600 Ghana cedis per month. This is where you spend. So you need to start from the beginning. How much you are taking, you are spending on food, how much you are spending on transport, how much you are spending on water and other expenses, plus the electricity bills. So we have a caller now. Caller, good evening, your name and where you are calling us from.
All right. My name is Martin from La Paz.
All right, let's hear from you.
Oh, hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Said you are calling from La Paz. Let's hear from you. What do you have to
All
say?
right. Okay. Now, yeah, I'm into real estate. What my brother was talking is true.
All right.
I'm into real estate. The thing is, now the houses really they are going. They can even mention $1,500 for Jowulu here. Jowulu here na $1,500 for two-bedroom apartment, furnished. Oh, bro, Westland, and she there. So if you get something affordable for East Legon now, unless Ogbojo, that area, by that one cry, no, Charlie, the road no good. You see that thing? The road no good. It will cost for those places. Will be easy. I'm searching for even three bedroom Ghana say like three bed for 3K for Tantra. 300, 800 with them they call give me by 3,000. I can't get from there.
Right.
So
So,
that's it.
right. Thank you very much for calling. So that's it. Some are even charging in dollars. Meanwhile, the government says we need to do business in our local currency, which is the cedis. But others are even charging in foreign currency, like what the caller just said. Some are charging in dollars. So, caller, good evening. Your name and where you are calling us from. Caller, good evening. Your name and where you are calling us from. Right. So I think you can call back and also share with us. So as I was just saying, electricity can take you 300 Ghana cedis to 600 Ghana cedis per month. And also those who are using AC, the air conditioning in their rooms are also, in terms of prepaid, they are paying 1,200 Ghana cedis to 2,500 Ghana cedis. So that's a caller. Good evening. Your name and where you are calling us from. Right. So I think the network is not favoring us, but we still move, push. One day we'll come and do the amount of data and call airtime that we are spending in the country. In fact, it's a whole lot. So let's quickly look at this. Caller, your name and where you are looking calling us from. Yeah, your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, I'm calling from Takoradi.
All right. Let's hear from you, Takoradi.
Right, I love your analysis. That's a very great job you are doing there. See, again, some of this pressure we put on ourselves is coming from us. We just tend to do whatever we like, rejecting some of the denominations and the currencies. But then, as the world moves forward, this changes. So it's a wake up to most of us who are watching. And then the government must also do something about the youth, employment creation and then business and all those things. So I love that, and I wish you all the best. I think this is something we, the youth, must keep doing, broadcasting on the radio stations and the televisions, so that the government will also come to our aid and then help us. Thank you very much.
Right. But before you go, let me ask you: do you have anything that, particularly to you, you want us to maybe further dig for you?
Okay.
Do you have anything that maybe you want us to further research or investigate? Do you have any story, anything that's maybe bothering you that you want us to work on it for you?
Yeah. Your analysis was mostly based on Accra, and I want you to come down to Takoradi and then, its environs. I think that one would also help.
Right. Thank you very much. So we'll be doing the justice to that. I think we can go to the various regions in the country. So I was on the electricity. The low-income households, those who are also managing their life in a comfortable zone, they are not spending much because they are not earning much at the end of the month or day. So they can also spend 150 Ghana cedis to 300 Ghana cedis as a middle income. If there's a caller, good evening. Your name and where you are calling out from?
Good evening. My name is Sam from Takoradi.
Right. Let's hear from you.
Please, your analysis is very nice. I'm enjoying it. Can I come down? I want to speak.
Oh yes. Go on.
Me too. Analysis now. So now we'll break it down on the salary near the end. That means more. I'm going to take for shop and into your work as because maybe I need more, but the best 2 kilometers away from the shop. I will car. So we have analysis now. No compare any of them. And so more be a shop and 14 now. So we should say we not going to increase it in my bucket now.
Right. Thank you very much. So we will also hammer on that for the private sectors to do justice. And, it takes a lot also from their CAFEX. They have to make a lot of sacrifices to do that. But as you said, I think they have to do something about it. The key drive to this electricity issues that we are talking about is tariff increases. In fact, this government has increased electricity tariff, assuming of is 18%. Now it is 18%. I think somewhere others are also using for propaganda. But I'll come back to that. I'll call out your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening. I'm
You said you are calling us from where?
from Water
All right. Okay. Let's hear from you.
Road, Yeah, I'm enjoying the show. Every year we always talk about electricity, cost of electricity. Maybe can you take one from the street? It's around 300. Sometimes
Caller, I'll be so glad if you can reposition yourself. Yes, I'll be so glad if you can position yourself for us, man.
Hello?
Yes. Speak. We are listening to you. Yeah, we are listening to you.
Yeah, I'm calling from Water Road. My name is Lily.
Great.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the show. But every year we are living well. But what of area in Accra and Kumasi and
All right. So I think I got something from you. We are just talking about how we have centered only on Accra and others. So I think we will continue on that. So one from Takoradi just mentioned that, and we are taking into consideration. I think my producer and production team have taken notes on that. So we'll be doing justice to those in the other regions. We just be talking about one or two things also there. Now, so I was on what's some of the drivers or factors contributing to the increment in the electricity that we are using in our homes and offices or even other places. We are saying that the tariffs, the government put taxes on the electricity. So this contributes to that and also on that. So you can also join in the conversation whilst we are doing that. And also high applicants use in cities. So if you come to cities here, we mostly depend. Now that we are facing a lot of challenges, we be doing that. There's a caller. Your name, good evening, and where you are calling us from?
Hello, good evening. My name is Kwame. I'm calling from Accra.
Right, Kwame.
Great. So, great show. Great analysis. I mean, from your analysis, you can understand that we are just living hand to mouth in this country. In fact, ask young people as we are, you will say that you are barely surviving. They just want to make some small coins. Imagine how much are you going to be paid as a young graduate from school to be able to afford the high electricity bills, transport yourself, for example, where I stayed and I work in Accra. I commute from Accra to Athenia daily. and then you have to come to Accra, you have to feed yourself, then you have to go back to Athena. And imagine when you get to the house and when you have to come back to work. Now you cannot even buy common pure water at 50 pesos. I mean, if we have a well-functioning system, you can have a transport system that can just take you from Athena to Accra. You know, train can work. I mean, look at the Timampakadan Railway. Why is it that someone cannot stay in the Volta region and come to work in Accra? Relatively, look at the rent. In Accra, the rent is very high. Go to the Volta region, very low. Go to Cape Coast, very low. Go to Kumasi. I mean, averagely, you can survive. If you have a well-functioning transport system, the convergence in Accra can be, distributed across the country. Then we can ease the traffic in Accra, because it's like everybody wants to come to Accra. So the inflation in Accra is high. Of course, economics, demand and supply, everybody's in Accra. So, of course, we are all fighting for the small goods guy in the market. So the best thing we have to do is to open out the country. You can stay in Kumasi and come to work. You can stay in Cape Coast and come to work in Accra. Or even decentralize the country. That way, there will not be pressure in Accra. After you are doing a great job, we are monitoring you.
Right, thank you very much, Kola. And I think you made a great point there. In fact, we need to open up the country, as you put it up there. We have centralized the government here, and everything is centered in Accra and making here choked. In fact, let me take my last caller, and then we wrap up for today. Caller, your name and where you are calling us from.
My name is Ate. I'm calling from Takoradi.
All right, let's hear from you.
No, okay. Well, analysis is good, but we wonder how the leaders can work on it, because there anytime we see something like this for 1 week, 2 weeks, that's all. We don't hear anything about it again. They should work about the transport system. And then every time they are doing a big thing. Today I heard that the government is opening Accra airport, what. We are talking about the big people traveling outside on those things. But they are not talking about you, the down people, you, the youth. You understand? We should do train buses, and they're going to Tamale, going to Kumasi, and those things. And then within the town, movement is very stupid. You don't understand our leaders, you see? So for Ghana, we are all management. My brother, we are all management.
Right.
So, as I say, we should give everything to God, but we wanted people in power. You understand? So that's my little contribution.
Right, thank you very much. And I think my time is almost up. Let me quickly run through one of the things that's also here. So we have health expenses. If you look at the consultation, some go for health consultation of 100 cedis to 500 Ghana cedis. Basic drug that you get, the basic one, 50 Ghana cedis to 300 Ghana cedis. Emergency care could take you 1,000 Ghana cedis plus. And the reality is that NHIS is not taking some of the costs anymore. It's been limited by some of the things. If you go to private hospitals, they charge. Some are taking just consultation of 200 Ghana cedis plus, and also for comprehensive and operation, and others can take you a couple of money of 3,000 Ghana cedis to 10,000 Ghana cedis plus. This is for health issues that those in cities are facing. For school fees is also there. In fact, if you look at some of the international schools in the country, especially in Accra here, I don't want to mention some of the schools, but if you look at the amount of money they are charging, 75,000 Ghana cedis. 75,000 Ghana cedis, maybe 390,000 Ghana cedis. That's somehow 3.9 billion, almost 4 billion the old currency. This is some of the school fees international students are paying in the country here. If you look at some of the basic private institutions that we have, some are paying roughly of 2,000 Ghana cedis and 8,000 Ghana cedis. This is some amount of money that people are paying. The lesser one that you get could be maybe 1,000 Ghana cedis, 1,005 or 500 Ghana cedis, the private institution. If you want better education for your kid or your child, then if you want to go into then it's clearly going to cost you a lot. So school fees is taking a lot of money from the student. Even SHS is also taking a lot of money from parents and others. Now, people want to set up business. Before we end this, business. Now, if you want to set up a business registration in Ghana costs 500 Ghana cedis to 1,000 Ghana cedis. Some are charges within a range of 500 Ghana cedis. You need to buy the form. The form alone is just 500 Ghana cedis or 300 Ghana cedis. Now, you want to rent a shop. The shop will charge you 3,000 Ghana cedis. That's the basic shop that you can get. Utility and the setup, you need 2,000 plus Ghana cedis. And some of the things are here. So these are some of the things affecting those living in the cities. How does this affect you? Next week, we'll continue. My name is Mensah Maxwell. Thanks for watching. News Night is up next.